would you say are the biggest professional and personal challenges that you face right now?
Oh, I'd say patience personally. Like, it's really hard because you, especially if you really love something, you want it to happen really fast and for everything to be perfect overnight. And it really isn't. It takes a long time, a lot of perseverance, and not getting like, not letting the putbacks put you down, really just being like, nope, I'm sticking to it and I'm doing it. So I'd say professionally, I mean, personally, that would be the biggest challenge. And professionally, it would be trying to figure out how to really be true to myself, but also make it so, like, also market it. So it's like the trying not to make a conflict of interests and just present myself, but also deal with the fact that I'm not Lady Gaga,
Mm-hmm.
and how to make it all work and to stick with it and be patient.
What would you say is your funniest, scariest, or most bizarre experience of your entire career so far?
My funniest, you know what? I would have to say I went on a tour of Europe with the artist Gavin DeGraw, who's from
Mm-hmm.
the States, and I thought everything had been pre-booked and all the hotels and travel plans and everything. Like, my management had told me that. We get over to Europe and we do the first show, and I can't get a hold of my manager because he's in China, and realize that we have no flight to Oslo, Norway for the next show, no hotel. We can't speak the language. So me and my bass player are like, oh my God! We pretty much like flew by the seat of our pants through that entire like 2.5, 3 week tour, and it was really fun. Like, I don't know if I'd want to do it again, but it was pretty much backpacking on a tour, like just figuring out how to get every night to a new place and where you're going to stay and trying to figure out how to cross the language barrier. And so I'd say that was a pretty wacky experience. And then opening for In Excess, which was totally insane. Like, not necessarily the match I would see for my music, but it was
Yeah.
so fun. Like, playing in a massive stadium and having their audience actually like the music. But when you're playing in a stadium, it's so strange because you sing and you hear it like 2 seconds later. Like, you don't hear as you're singing. So that was pretty fun. I hope to do that again.
How do you deal with the writers or just plain like creative block?
Yeah, that definitely happens. And I've come to realize that if you force it, it gets worse. So if you try to if you're like, oh my God, I can't write a song, it's been a year, freak out over it, that's not going to make it any better. So you try and do something else. So if I really can't write a song or I'm trying to write a poem and I can't do it, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to paint. And then I'll like try and paint something, or I'll be like, okay, I'm going surfing, or I'm going to go travel. Because really, I think writer's block comes from getting too much in your head. I think creativity really comes when you're not thinking,
Mm-hmm.
as funny as that sounds. So it's like if you can get out of your own head and just experience something else, that usually works. Sometimes it doesn't work and you just have to deal with it and not write anything for a
Mm-hmm.
while. But I'd say, yeah, that's what I try and do.
Do you consider yourself to be an artist? And to you, what is an artist?
I would say I'm an artist, and I think an artist would be someone who sees the world artistically. So someone who that's the way they think and live and breathe. And I think there are a lot of artists out there that aren't even artists. Like, I think it's when the philosophy of your life is art. So you look outside, and to me, I'll be like, oh, that'd be a good picture. Like, that's just the way my brain works. And I think a lot of people are like that.
What exactly would you say you're trying to open people's minds up to with the album?
I'd say probably three things. One would be, the environment, because I really feel very passionately about the environment and the fact that we need to become more aware of it and respect it more. Um, and then also the fact that, really you should do what you want with your life and explore yourself and your life, because there aren't set rules really in the end that you have to go by. And I think it's sad that a lot of people go through their lives without ever really having the courage to do something different. Like, they live inside a box. So those two things, and then just opening your mind and really, like, because I still have to do it. Like, I totally get closed-minded as well, but I think it's opening your mind to possibilities and to other people, and like looking at someone and not just seeing them walk down the street and being like, I wonder what they're thinking and feeling and what their life is. Realizing it's not just your world, it's everybody's world.
What does the next year hold for you?
A, a lot. Pretty much touring, and the album will be released in different territories over the next year, so it's going to be me just constantly traveling, which I love. So it's good for me. And I'll probably I want to have some fun recording other styles of music because I've written a lot of songs like in totally like dance beat styles or like jazz styles. And I think if I ever have spare time, I want to go into the studio and record a couple songs and put them out on my website or something and just have fun with that.
Do you have anything that you'd like to say to the regions of popularity?
For me, my biggest thing right now is trying to, the phrase be here now. I guess I would say since that's what I'm dealing with and trying to really focus on and, envelop in my life, I'd say try and like really practice that because I found it's making me so much happier as a person to not really, if you think about how much during the day you're thinking about the future or something that's happened, it's overwhelming. Like if you actually just focus on the fact that like right now I'm sitting on the couch, I'm being interviewed and it's gray outside but kind of blue, like if you think about what's immediately happening, it's really amazing. You're happy. So that would be what I'd have to say